And my triple cup, that's 2 times 2. Man, this shit dogging in the wartime, so
you know I'm ballin', usual like Kobe.
So actually, that's a good segue into So you and I, as you see in the back, anybody watching, we've got the Dr. J UMass jersey because both of us did go there, and you're the reason why I went. You recommended it so highly. So being around Celtics fans as a Laker fan, what was your initial feeling about being there and like the rivalry? Were you like, oh, this is gonna be fun, this is gonna be annoying? What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It was,
So what did you think about
great.
that? What did you think about that community? Like, what was the difference in you love the geography in different places? What was the main difference you saw immediately from being over there than the West Coast? It's so different.
Well, the trees.
Yeah,
I would start with the trees.
Changing colors in the fall. We don't.
Yeah,
get.
well, just the amount of trees.
Yeah,
the
very green.
woodsy areas. But yeah, the seasons.
And overall, people used to say, and a lot of my
architecture.
A lot of my
architecture is older.
A lot of my subscribers,
brick buildings.
A lot of my subscribers are going to be wondering, like, UMass has tried really hard to, kind of downgrade the reputation that they had. The zoo was when you went there. Everybody's like the way you described it was just insane, so much fun, the greatest school ever, and all this stuff. So how amazing was it when you went?
Yeah,
relative to now? Did anything just go?
But look, I feel like every school I went to, going back to high school days, they were like, all right, when this class graduates, we're going to clean things up, or this is the end of an era. From now on, we're going to clean things up. So maybe that's just, every school. They're always trying to, say, all right, this is the last straw.
Yeah,
they're gradually trying to clean things up.
People seem to think that, the UMass is trying to push for more of like the Ivy League kind of vibe these days, and not as much as the fun
UMass
state
could be anything it wants to be. So, yeah, good for, it should be everything. It should be the zoo, and it should be known as a great,
academic school.
Yeah, it is. You get a great education there.
Do you still...
I wouldn't be the person I am if it wasn't for the University of Massachusetts.
And I would concur. And I really thank you for pushing me in that direction. You didn't even have to push me. I didn't even consider going to UMass when I was growing up. I was just like, I may apply, but when I was going for the applications, I didn't. Out of high school, I had no chance, so I had to, do the exchange.
Look, when I was talking about when I was in junior high, I was all about, basketball and rap music. I remember those were the Marcus Camby days, right? So UMass, I won't name the brand. I learned things like that at the University of Massachusetts. But, they had a cool sponsor and, Marcus Camby. So I remember even in junior high, I remember I had a friend who said, oh, I like UConn, I like UMass. And, I always just loved UMass and, the team name. I thought it was very fitting. So, I have memories of UMass before I even went there as a person growing up here in LA or in Southern California.
And what would you say the difference is in, like, for example, the people? Would you say what's the difference in the people? Obviously, every person's different, but obviously there are an East Coast person, a West Coast person. And what do you think, like, what's the mentality difference? What's their lifestyle compared to ours? Do you know?
Yeah, the people are amazing. That's what makes, the East Coast what it is.
Would you say people here are more...
All right, let's not. Oh, I should say, I know some people in the room are listening as well. A lot of that time was also defined by the East Coast, West Coast rivalry in rap and hip hop too. So, that was also kind of, when it comes to sports and LA and LA pride or California pride, I also want to mention that. But yeah, people are great everywhere, right? Let's try to keep it positive.
What did you notice about... Okay, what about Celtics?
But the East Coast West Coast rivalry taught you that the West Coast
reigns supreme.
Yes.
What would you say the difference between Celtics fans and Laker fans are? Do you think Laker fans are? I'll give you my observations.
Look, people from Massachusetts are great, but Boston fans, that's another category.
And what's the category?
Well,
a lot of them are listening though. I want to hear what your take is.
Okay, I'll just say this: they already know this. They hate other teams more than they like their own team.
That's how I feel about.
So to me, when the Yankees Red Sox had already been eliminated, then the Yankees would lose and there would be riots and people would be yelling, you know what they're yelling. Yeah. People would buy you shirts that says that on it, so even if you're from California.
Speaking of which, you were there during the insanely talked about Red Sox coming back from 3-0. to
The dorms would shake when someone would get a base hit or
just a base hit, not even a run.
The dorm would just...
So you saw like a couple Pats riots when they won.
Yeah.
The Red Sox.
And they were yelling the Yankees
Yeah.
thing at the
riot
when the Patriots would win.
Oh, so what did you think about? What was the most, I guess, epic?
I love Massachusetts. I love New England.
What's the what was the peak riot? Was it the Red Sox? The
Red. There's videos on this online. Go look at them. DC jumper, but I saw that
Dining
live.
Common?
I saw that. I saw the guy jump off the DC
in Southwest.
Yeah, well, off the dining common.
Burke.
The DC stands for dining common
Yeah.
or dining hall. But yeah, look, he's up there. And then the cops are kind of have him cornered, and he pretty much has no choice but to jump off the ledge. And the people in the crowd were saying, no, don't jump, because they kind of didn't want to catch him. And he jumped, and I heard he broke his leg, but, you can watch that video
Similar
online.
thing happened to my friend who was standing on like a pole after the Red Sox beat us, but I wasn't at the riot, obviously. I was sad because we lost.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I don't want to promote this type of behavior, right? People riot for political reasons, right? We're talking about sports here.
Yeah.
But look, back then you had AOL Instant Messenger or AIM, right? People would have kind of counter strategies. They say, okay, look, everyone knows the cops are going to be at Southwest, right? So everyone would be at Southwest, and then they would write in the message, as soon as the police come to Southwest, then everyone go to the campus pond. And then there was a situation where two people went into the campus pond and they met in the middle and started hugging each other. But it was funny because it was like watching like a military battle. You had these armored police or riot police who would run and get on a bus, and then they would quickly be transported from Southwest to the campus pond, where they would get off the bus and get back into the action. So it was like get on the bus, quick stop, and then back into the action.
I honestly, obviously, there was 2 riots when I was there, but I obviously didn't go because LA was the loser in the circumstances for both. So it was really sad for me. I couldn't be around all those happy people.
And look, to me, I was like, look, I'm just here to witness being part of UMass. It has nothing to do with who won or who lost.
Well, you didn't have to deal
So
with
you
the
should've
Dodgers
went.
losing.
Whatever.
The Dodgers
I
losing.
know, it would have been different. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. So
Yeah.
once again,
Exactly. Honestly, I would have gone to the riot.
have a
If it was-
different perspective
If it was the
than
Pats
I do.
Falcons, if I was there for the Pats Falcons, I would have
See,
been
for
there.
me, like wearing a Dodger hat back there was kind of neutral. It was like, hey, they're in the NL,
Yeah.
the only real baseball league. Well, now things are changing.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. But DH, that's not real baseball.
What did you think of
Double switch. You guys know what that is? We're talking to Boston people, right?
Yeah,
Or
of course.
AL people. Do you
course.
guys even know what a double switch is? Why don't you write some comments? Let us know why you would do that or what that is.
And then, so we have the...
No, I'm glad they have diversity, though. One has the DH. One's kind of like arena football. The other one's like, regular football.
I'd say
regular baseball.
what I picked up on when I was there is I thought it was awesome to just be around, I've been around Laker fans my whole life and their storied history and fans. And then I've been around all Celtics fans and seen their storied history and how their fans act. And what I picked up is I think we're a lot more into basketball, personally. I think they're more into football. And, like, as you said, they're very, one of the colonies, American, very more patriotic than we are, I'd say. And they love, the Red Sox.
The spirit of America.
Yeah, the Pats are right now. I mean, I don't know if this was the case when you went, but the Pats now are just the team. Like every Sunday is a holiday.
Yeah, because they just wanted the Red Sox to win, and then now that's happened, move on to the Pats.
The Celtics are very popular, but it's not this. Like, I feel like everyone. Like, let me give an example. In 2018, I was there, and it's the season that you guys had Lonzo as a rookie. And it seemed like you guys were talking about the Lakers as much as they were talking about the Celtics, and they were one game away from the finals. And that just shows you to me how much we're so into basketball. But I'd say you told me this before I went, they're more into sports in New England than we are here.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
And I think that they're not as arrogant Celtics fans as you guys are, I'd say. But I think that their arrogance comes with the Pats and with Boston sports as a whole. How was it? Because this Boston sports thing of them being like the city of champions, and this didn't start till like this century. Like,
City of champions.
That's what they call themselves now. What do you have to say about that?
Inglewood is the city of champions.
Well, that was because of the Lakers, right?
Yeah, Inglewood is known as the city of champions.
What did you
I'll
think?
just say that.
What did you think of?
But for you listeners, Inglewood is a separate city.
Well, yeah, that's the same
No,
as
I'm just
like
letting you know.
Santa Monica's a separate city.
Yeah,
technically.
Santa Monica
But
is a
it's
separate
probably
city.
part of LA County.
Yeah, it's part of LA County.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, do you feel as though
Well, wait. Remember, the Clippers might move to Inglewood.
They're going to apparently 2024 or something.
Yeah,
but
we'll see if that name continues.
I was gonna say. So no, but what's your was it like that when you went, that this Boston sports arrogance of we win and everything, or was that just starting, or was that not existent at all? Because they literally bragged so much.
It was because the Pats had one, so
it was starting. You said
it was starting.
For
the Red Sox, it was starting, but for the Pats, it was already underway.
And what was the? And obviously the Celtics hadn't won since Bird. This wasn't 08 yet. So for me, they had that. They just. What's funny is, like, whenever the Celtics lose, these guys just deflect into another sport. Like, oh, but the Pats just did this. It's like, just take your L, man. The Celtics haven't won in so long.
Speaking of Inglewood, I used to, a lot of nights in the dorms, I remember watching Paul Pierce.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask
with
about
Celtics
that.
fans.
So I was going to say, I know you started off with this, but you're one of the most Celtics sympathizers of any Laker fan I know because of that New England connection. Because that area is special to us, no matter what. No matter how big the rivalry is and how much Boston sports can be annoying, we do still love the area. So you're very pro Paul Pierce, like in the whole D-Wade Paul Pierce thing.
I love Paul Pierce.
Talk about
I remember
that.
before I even went to Massachusetts, I remember someone saying, I like the new look Celtics, I like Paul Pierce. And then just hearing that person speak like that, I was like, I can't wait to go live in that state or go to UMass.
How are those teams? And was it fun to be like, the Lakers are the top dog and you guys are just like not as good as us right now when you went there?
Yeah. And then you had, Paul Pierce kind of, could create his own shot, handles.
Of course.
So that was fun to watch. I remember at the time, T-Mac and Paul Pierce were some of my favorite players to watch in terms of going one-on-one.
Were you hoping?
Besides Kobe, of course.
Were you hoping for more than anything for a Celtics-Lakers finals while you were there?
Yeah. That's what I want. Look, they had Antoine Walker, and I kept telling them, look, until, with Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce, we'll see, if you guys can make it to
So you're basically saying that you don't think Antoine Walker was this good enough to be that second
I thought he was, exactly.
team?
That's what I used to, but let me tell you something about Celtics fans. They were so loyal. They loved Antoine Walker so much. They would fight, tooth and nail.
For Antoine Walker?
Antoine Walker is all we need.
That's so funny.
We'll get there.
So when you were around there for we actually skipped over this, but the Pistons versus Lakers, and you said that was a moment for you when you realized that I could never be overconfident about the Lakers or sports ever again. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah.
So
I remember I was in a house.
So you were over there.
Amherst, and I didn't want to go downstairs after the results.
Ugh, I can relate.
And the people in my house weren't even that into
basketball.
Yeah.
How did it feel to have Karl Malone?
They just didn't like the Lakers, or just didn't want the Lakers to win.
How did it feel?
So once again, they hate more than they like their own team.
How did you feel about Karl Malone being on the Lakers after all the years of despising him?
Hey, but look, there was that game where he had his jersey ripped. Laker fans know what I'm talking about, or Laker supporters. Where I was like, you know what? After that game, you're a Laker now. But it was tough to accept him at first.
Yeah. I was going to say...
But look, you want the Lakers to always win, but some Laker fans, I imagine, might be happy that they never won.
Yeah, and now it's gone to the point where there's been so many titles for Boston in the recent years.